Hello friends, in this video tutorial, we will explain you how to create custom authentication login and registration under this Laravel 9 application. Suppose you have used Laravel framework for your web application development. Then you can find inbuilt default login and registration feature available under Laravel 9 framework, and you can simply enable this default authentication login registration by simply run command in command prompt. But suppose you want to create your own custom authentication, login and registration in your Laravel 9 application. Then under this tutorial, we are going to show you traditional method. And by using this method, you can create custom authentication in Laravel 9 application. This is because under this tutorial, we have described simple method for build custom login, registration and dashboard pages under Laravel 9 application. Now let's start discussing this topic. So this is our testing database. And we will create user table under this database from Laravel 9 application. Now we want to download Laravel 9 application, so we have goes to command prompt. And here, we have to run this command, so this command will start downloading Laravel 9 framework. Here we can see that it will take more time to download Laravel 9 framework file. And now here, we can see that Laravel 9 framework has been downloaded in our computer. Now we want to check Laravel 9 application in browser, so we have run this command. So this command will start Laravel 9 application server and provide us base URL. Now here in the browser, we have pasted this base URL. So here in the browser, we can see that Laravel 9 application homepage has been displayed. Now we have goes to text editor, and here we can see directory structure of Laravel application. And first we want to make database connection, so we have to open .environment file. And under this file, we have to define MySQL database name, username and password details. So after define this configuration, it will make MySQL database connection. Now here, in model directory, we can see default user model class file already created. So we will use this model class file for database operation after this. Here in database folder, migration directory, we can see default user table migration file already created. Now for create user table from Laravel application, so we have goes to command prompt. And here, we have run this command, which will create user table under testing database. Now here in testing database, we can see that blank user table has been created. Now we have to proceed for create custom login and registration application. Now we want to create controllers class file, so we have goes to command prompt. And here, we have to run this command, which will create sample controller class file under our Laravel application. Now here in text editor, we have goes into application controller directory, and open sample controller file. And under this file, first we have to write use statement with hash class name. This class, it will use for convert simple password to hash formatted password. Below this, we have to write use statement with session class name. This class we will use for store session information data about the user across the requests. After this, we want to include user model class, so we have to write use statement with path of user model class file for database operation. Next, we want to include Laravel authentication class, so for this, here we have to write use statement with path of Laravel authentication class. Now under this class, we have to create index method, which is root method of this class. Under this method, we have to write return statement with view method. And under this method, we have to write login, so it will load login.blade file in the browser. Now we have proceed for create blade template file, so here in views directory, we can see that we have already created some blade template file. So first we have to open main.blade.php file, which is master template file. And under this file, we have paste this HTML code. And under this HTML code, we have used Bootstrap 5 library. Now here in Bootstrap Navbar navigation class, we want to create login registration link, which will be displayed to guest user and display logout link to login user. So for this, here we have to write @guest directive. So this directive is used for identify guest user who is not logged in our application. So it will execute this block of code, and here we have to write list tag with class is equal to navigation item class. And between this, we have to create anchor tag with class is equal to navigation link. And after this, we have to write href attribute is equal to Laravel expression. And between this, we have to write root function, and under this function, we have to write login, so it will create link for goes to login page. And in anchor text, we have to write login, so it will create login page link. Same way for create registration page link, so here we have to write list tag with class is equal to navigation item. And between this, we have to write anchor tag with class is equal to navigation link. And after this, we have to write href attribute is equal to Laravel expression. And between this, we have to write root function, and under this function, we have to write registration, so it will create link for goes to Laravel page. After this, in anchor text, we have to write registration, so it will create links for goes to registration page. But suppose user is login, then here we have to write @else directive. So login user can view this block of link, so here we have to display logout link. So here we have to write list tag with class is equal to navigation item class. And between this, we have to write anchor tag with class is equal to navigation link. And after this, we have to write href attribute is equal to Laravel expression. And between this, we have to write logout, so it will create links for logout from Laravel application. After this, in anchor text, we have to write logout, so it will create logout link. Now for close this guest directive, so here we have to write end guest directive. So this code will display logout link to login user, and guest user can view login registration page link. So here, our navigation bar code is ready, and this is master template. And for display this navigation bar in child page also, so for this, here we have to write @yield directive with name content. So by using this directive, child page will expense this template file. Now we have to open login.blade.php file, and first we want to extend main blade file. So here, we have to write @extends directive with name main. Now we want to create section for display this page content with master template. So here, we have to write @section with name content. And first we have closed this section by writing @end section directive with name content. And between this block, we can paste this HTML code of this login blade file. Now we want to display this navigation bar in the browser, so first we have to create registration and logout method. So we have goes to sample controller, and here we have create registration method. And after this, we have create logout method, so here, we have create both method, and for check output in the browser. Now we want to set root for index, registration and logout method. So we have to open web.php file from this roots directory. And under this file, first we want to include sample controller class under this file. So here, we have to write use statement with path of sample controller file. After this, for set root, here we have to write root class with controller method. And under this method, we have to write sample controller class, and after this, we have to write root method with callback function. So by using this code, we can define multiple root under this callback function. Now under this function, we have to write root class with get method with 2 argument. In first argument, we have to write login, and in second argument, we have to write index. And after this, we have to write name method with login, so this code will set root for index method. After this for set root for registration method, so here we have to write root class with get method. In first argument, we have to write registration, and in second argument, we have to write registration. After this, we have to write name method with registration, so it will set root for registration method. After this, we want to set root for logout method, so here, we have to write root class with get method with 2 argument, so in first argument, we have to write logout, and in second argument, we have to write logout. After this, we have to write name method with name logout, so it will set root of logout method. Now here in browser, we have to write login after base URL. So here, on web page, we can see that login and registration link has been displayed on the web page. This is because currently, we are not logged into system. When we have login into system, then it will display logout link in place of login and registration link. So in next part, we will proceed for creating registration form. So in next part, we will make custom registration form under Laravel 9 application.